right, another down in the blocks. Tom Crawford here at the Michigan Athletic Club here in East Lansing, talking Michigan basketball with basketball savants of all levels, starting out with Don Man, Mark.
What does savant do here? That's what I want to know.
So you know what a savant is? What's a savant, Don Man?
I don't know, man. I know what one isn't.
He knows his shit. A savant knows his shit, okay?
Yeah.
And you know your shit, as does CY over here, Chris Young, the former Michigan pivot man, number 45. Played at Detroit Catholic Central before he moved on for his illustrious career for the Wolverines from 1999 to 2002. Snuck in 1 year with Coach Tommy Amaker, which was probably the best of those years.
Oh, by far. By far the best year.
Versus
3 years with Brian
Brian Ellerby.
Yeah, the transfer portal was a thing back then.
Where would you?
I
Where
don't
would
know.
you have gone? Where do you think you would have gone?
I don't know. It kind of would depend on where the fit was, but I mean, back then you transferred in conference, you had to sit 2 years.
Maybe you could go and play for Greg Campy at Oakland.
Yeah.
And just
I mean, if
dominate.
you took a step down, then you had to sit one, but 2 years in conference.
Yeah.
Or if you transfer to another conference.
If you transferred to another conference, it was all a matter if the school gave you your release.
So it still might be 2 years.
It still might be 2 years. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was bad news stuff, man.
Okay, here's a guy who didn't even think about transferring from Eastern Michigan, baseball and basketball. Jeremy Norquist. He was Eagle through and through. How are you doing, Jay?
Well, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely terrific. We're talking Michigan basketball here. Hey,
Man, I got a question.
yeah. Oh, you're throwing.
How was your last podcast received by the masses? The pessimists, realists.
Well, we got ripped a little bit. Yeah. So but why are you getting critique for bringing it
For your
real?
opinion? Well, because you got fans.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a
Don't
fanboy
bring me-
reaction.
did you see the Wizard of Oz? Don't bring me no bad news. Yeah, no bad news. So
Well, I
they
mean,
just wanna be fans.
that doesn't mean we don't care.
That's silly. I understand why some people might think more highly of the team than maybe that podcast represented or indicated.
I can't. It's all blurred to me right now. But we were a little bit critique. I mean, I still have them 13-7. I have them going 5-5 the rest of the way and getting a 5 seed in the Big Ten or in the NCAA tournament. Probably fourth. I think
5 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, NCAA tournament, and I think they could
you got
potentially be a 4 in the top 4 and get a bye in the Big Ten tournament. You don't think?
Who are they compete? Who? So right now, who are the 4? Who are your 4?
Michigan State,
Who
Purdue.
Who you're
Michigan
showing up
State,
for?
Purdue,
Okay.
Illinois, and Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, those are the top.
yeah.
The
And everybody's
4
got
teams in
their.
the conference.
I mean, other than Michigan State, although they took a hit this weekend, but
Yeah.
they've been everybody's been inconsistent. Mark. They have.
I'm trying to think of who else might work their way in there.
Wisconsin, whiskey.
Whiskey.
Maybe. Yeah.
Whiskey?
They got a chance. If
Yeah.
Michigan
You don't
kinda
like, you don't like
stumbles-
Maryland, huh?
Well, I do like Maryland, but
You
I
don't
need
like Maryland
I need
that
more of a
much.
sustainable. I have to get a longer sample size than this little quick thing
We
that's
got
happening.
Maryland.
I mean, who else would it be?
USC.
I mean,
No.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
No, Ohio State, baby.
Maybe, yeah.
What'd you think of Ohio State lately, Jeremy Norquist? You're not. You're not selling.
Listen,
You're not buying, rather.
No, I mean,
You're selling Ohio State to anybody.
Ohio State doesn't scare me at all. If I'm a Big Ten team,
I mean, a week
like,
from Saturday, Michigan's got to go down to what do they call that center? Whatever. It's not St. John Arena.
I mean, it should be. It should be. I mean, and again, I'm not a Michigan or Ohio State fan, but it should be barbecue chicken for Michigan. Like Michigan should cook Ohio State.
Schottenheimer Center. Schottenheimer.
Matchups against Ohio State. I don't care.
Yeah.
Matchup. I mean, it is hard in Ohio
Yeah, it's
in the
on
Big
the road.
Ten,
Yeah,
but
I'll say
matchups against Ohio
The
State.
next 2 Saturdays are on the road.
You take Michigan in almost every position. Now, in my opinion, the biggest position is point guard, and I am not a huge Trey Donaldson fan. I was actually watching with Chris the other day against Rutgers, and I am not a huge Trey Donaldson
Okay.
fan.
Okay. I want to get all your guys' opinion. Jeremy brought up a great point about guard play, and John Beilein said last week, Danny Wood's got to quit this,
Being the guard.
fantasy point guard thing and give the ball up more to Trey. And I agree with that. And Trey, Trey against Penn State had 0 turnovers, and Trey was pretty good. Okay, hear me out here. Here's the key, I think, guys, of this team. Justin Pippen stepping up.
Oh shit.
I think
And you
I'm
still-
gonna tell you.
and you still
Okay,
got- you
okay.
still
He had
got-
4 assists the other day against Rutgers. Okay, I think he's a very smart intelligent basketball player. That's probably from the DNA.
Yep.
Okay. But what do you
agree
think
with
about that? That all these Michigan teams over the years that have done well have had this mid-season freshman guard, Derek Walton's an example, all of a sudden appear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get over that freshman hump at the end of
The back half,
January, and
yeah.
they start to roll. And what Pippen's doing now is what I thought L.J. Kaysen was going to do.
Yeah.
And this is the role I thought he was going to develop in.
Xavier Simpson, there's been a few here and
No,
there.
Xavier was the same dude.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever the past, if you want to argue with that, that's fine. But I'm just saying, I think this kid is the key, and you're not buying it.
I have a real big opinion
Okay.
on this.
Okay, well, then
I
let's
was
step up
watching
to the
this
plate.
with Chris, and I made a comment after about 8 minutes. I said, you know what? When this Justin Pippen comes in the game,
Yeah.
they play a hell of a lot less frantic. With Trey Donaldson, they play frantic as hell. It seems like they are just.
They do.
They're in a hurry.
Yeah.
Everything's in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because he's always moving 100 miles an hour, so everybody else is moving just that much faster.
Yeah.
And it's not always, you're supposed to move, what is it? You're supposed to move quick, not fast.
right.
You see, Mark Dodson's going to disagree with you.
No.
Okay. Well, your reaction is.
I'm just going to probe. Are they moving slower because he's slower, and more deliberate because he's not necessarily comfortable yet?
Maybe.
Is that why they're moving slower?
Maybe, but the thing is, Dot, is that they seem to get in there. I was telling her again, seem to get in their sets a lot better. It doesn't feel as like And I always said pace, right? And I still think when they come, they play with a little less pace, but it feels a little bit more crispy when they
Not putting that shot up with 8 seconds into the shot clock.
I'm going to look for that. I think it might be more a function of him just saying, I'm giving this ball. I'm not dominating the ball the way Trey does.
Yeah.
Trey's dominating that ball for whatever reason.
For better, for worse.
Pippen doesn't look comfortable out there dominating the ball. And maybe
I'm not saying he's got to dominate. I'm
just saying that might be why that's why it looks like they're playing slower, because he's giving that ball up and he's
to get back to everything, like, he's a good boost coming off the bench.
You think
like
so?
he
more so than Reuben Jones.
I like him better than Reuben Jones. I think he's got a much more calming effect than Reuben Jones does. Reuben Jones, I haven't really seen him do nothing. Like
we got a Reuben Jones fanboy over here. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot from him so far.
I'm disappointed.
Four-year kid in Reuben Jones.
If you listen to Dusty, he keeps talking about his defense. And I
haven't seen it yet.
Me either.
It's okay. I mean, it's not anything special.
Yeah.
It just kind of.
It's just better than his.
It's better than what It's better than what the other guys are doing. It's obviously better than what Brooks is doing. It's better than what Kaysen's doing. That's why he's playing that role, because otherwise those guys would be in there. Because the offense would be the same with any of those guys.
Should I give up on Roddy Gale?
Give up.
Being that guy.
The go-to guy.
Oh yeah.
He
100%.
He won't be that. He won't.
No.
He's
not that guy.
He's not.
They need a guy, man.
But he's Robin to Robin. Like, he's not.
He's not a glue guy.
Yeah.
But he does some nice things.
He does some nice things, but he's not the guy at the end of the shot clock, at the end of the game, go win us the game.
Here's the problem. The guy is still Wolf. The problem is that a couple times in the Rutgers game, late shot clock, Vlad's right there. He either turns down the pick or Vlad doesn't come up, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, you got 2 7-footers. Either way, defensively, you lost. Either you give up an open jumper, an open 3 to Wolf, or you give up the dive to Vlad, and either way you lose.
Or if Vlad's
you're
diving,
defensively,
you kick it to one of your shooters and
That's
spotting
right.
up. There's so many options, and they just don't do that enough. They're getting away from that so much, and Dusty's blaming it on scouting and all that. It doesn't matter how well that's scouted. If it's executed, you cannot stop it.
That's right.
See why?
Yes, sir.
I have long been aware of the fact that bigs got to make themselves big in the post.
Yes.
The commentators keep talking about they got to go down, they got to go down, they got to go down. I don't necessarily see Vlad making himself available down there. He's a big dude, but
Vlad's biggest
you got to
strength.
get comfortable in throwing that ball to him.
But
he's got to be in a position.
But that's not his strength. His strength
Right,
is
that's
not, he's not Shaq, where you're going to dribble the ball up and throw it in the post, and he's going to catch it and do all the post moves.
Yeah.
He can do that, but that's not his strength. He wants to come off a ball screen, be rolling to the basket. He wants someone to penetrate.
He needs to dunk it. And dunk it. Don't freaking lay it off, because it's going to go off the rim.
But he wants to catch it While he's in motion, he doesn't want to have his feet planted and have to go to work. He can do that, but that's not what his strength is.
Yeah.
And I can speak to that because that was me. I felt much more comfortable playing on the move and catching the ball on the move than I did with my back to the basket. Vlad's the same way.
Okay, Jeremy, this is a huge game for Michigan. I mean, you're playing Oregon coming off a 3-game losing skid. Yikes.
And a bad loss, too.
And I have Oregon by a ton in this game, actually.
Oof, look at this.
Why? Is it better to play a team off a loss?
That would be my That would
Might
be
get
my
pulled off the aisle there,
that
buddy.
would be my problem is that I was telling Chris, they play Ohio State, they're getting off the jet. Now they've had 3 days to just
Who are you talking about, Oregon?
Oregon.
Oh, they lost to Nebraska at home.
Oh, okay, but now they're coming into town, right?
Yeah,
Like when did they get
Then they
in?
got Michigan State on Saturday. I'm
Okay,
talking about
when did
Oregon.
they get in?
I'm sure yes.
Well, yesterday. I mean, they played Sunday night, that crazy Sunday night crap.
Right.
Yeah.
So now they get in. They got a day of and
Yeah.
they're coming off. I would say it would be terrible to play them right now off.
I wasn't happy with Oregon losing their third straight. Sorry. And Michigan's been drawing some bad
I was
luck.
not happy about it. But
Yeah, but what are you going to do? You got to play them. You got.
What kind of pace do they play? They're pretty up tempo.
Oh yeah, they're very.
So
up-tempo.
this will be back to your. We need to play faster. This will play right into Michigan, right?
if
And
they
supposedly-
play with pace, like if they just
and if they take care of the ball.
Yes.
If they have under 10 turnovers, they should win this game by double digits. If they have over 10 turnovers, then it's a dog.
Well, what's
fight.
more challenging, beating Oregon tomorrow night in Ann Arbor or Saturday 1:00 at Assembly Hall at Indiana?
Oh, winning tomorrow. Absolutely
Tomorrow?
winning
More
tomorrow.
challenging?
Oh, yes.
Tomorrow?
100%.
I think
you're playing a
Indiana's a
team
bad team.
coming off 3 losses. Indiana is a very.
I think Indiana's a bad team.
They're a very average team. I don't see
But
a
you're
whole lot
playing.
from
I mean,
Indiana.
but it's at Indiana. It's on the road, man. I mean, come on.
Them tight ass rims, right?
Indiana. Yeah.
Hey, I remember. Trust me, I remember.
But Indiana played Purdue really tough at Mackey.
They did.
But that's a big rivalry game for them. Like that's
Okay, so that's a one-off. You don't wait
I
too
don't
much.
see that being a
Okay.
consistent thing. And they didn't turn the ball over a whole hell of a lot when Michigan
Okay.
went down there. They kicked the ball all over the gym.
Woodson's on death row, right?
Oh yeah.
When they start
And I don't
chanting
think that they
"Fire
bought into
Woods,"
him.
and I mean that's.
I don't
That's
think
pretty-
that team is bought
And
into
I
playing for
thought
Mike
that-
Woodson. So
I thought Woodson was going to be great in Indiana.
Yeah,
I'm
thought he'd
wrong
be
on his
better.
coaches.
He's not.
yeah.
Just dead wrong.
Okay, segue. Real quickly tonight before we wrap up here, Michigan State at UCLA, Pauley Pavilion,
10
Peacock,
o'clock,
10 o'clock.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You can't flip around the channels, the thing we don't like about Peacock. Okay, as an old man.
Yeah.
Does Michigan State bounce back, man?
Bounce back from what, the loss?
To USC, yeah.
Do they beat UCLA?
That's my question. You give me the answer.
UCLA's playing good ball right now. I would think no.
I think this game's gonna be
I think
closer
it's
than
gonna- I think it's gonna be a good
Yeah,
game.
I think. It's
I'm
gonna
not
be
talking about
closer
good
than a
games.
lot
I
of
want a winner. You know, and Mr.
I would
Mr.
have-
FanDuel over here, I'll get the.
3 was it 3, 4? I think
3.5 UCLA.
I would go with
3.5 UCLA?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Looking right at it.
So I had a lot of people out, a lot of friends out there at the USC Michigan State game, and they said it was over half Michigan.
Oh yeah,
State.
you could hear the chants of.
Okay.
So
So that will be the same way at Pauley Pavilion, because the only thing that matters in Los Angeles is the Lakers, or if the Dodgers get to the series.
I tell you what, the refs gonna get guaranteed. The refs gonna get cussed out all night tonight.
By Tom Izzo.
Bolton,
Cronin too.
Cronin's an angry.
Yeah,
He's an
yeah.
angry old man,
Yeah,
and that
he just-
anger that he did, throwing his team out of the bus, kind of worked. That kind of actually
Unfortunately, it
worked.
kind of worked. Unfortunately.
Okay, I got to ask you because I thought about you. Betting kind of guy. So Michigan was a 5.5 point favorite over Rutgers, and then someone throws in a 3.
You see that shit?
From 35 feet at the
That made
buzzer.
best
Yeah.
beats last night.
Yeah, yeah. It's happening all over. It was a couple times on the weekend. I mean, why would somebody bet on basketball when that shit comes down? I mean, there's enough stresses in life to deal with unless you have money just to burn.
So to our millions of viewers, I've quit betting.
Oh,
Because I watched-
bullshit.
because I
That's the
watched-
biggest freaking lie in the world.
I watched the Kansas City Buffalo game, and I was watching the home cooking for KC in the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Well,
I
so
was like, it goes all the way to the top.
would you take Michigan State and the 3.5?
I would take Michigan State winning by 10.
Oh, I think so too. I think so too. Izzo will tie Bob Knight tonight.
I agree.
A Big Ten
They
all
don't
time.
have it like that.
Man, look at these guys.
What's your explanation for that?
I think
gonna
they'll.
happen? Put it on him.
I think
What's
they'll.
going to happen tonight?
I think Michigan State blows them out.
Based on what?
So
Based on matchups and based on the fact that they've been in town for a while and based on the fact that they lost to a inferior USC team and they got kind of beat down.
Yeah, they got their
but
butts kicked in that game, and they got their butts kicked the last couple
USC
days.
prevented Michigan State from pushing the ball. Michigan State averages 18 points
Yeah,
off the fast break.
they had very good
So
defensive
okay,
transition.
so that recipe
Yep.
is out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Does UCLA?
But that's been the recipe against Michigan State for 30 years with Izzo, because all they want to do is get out and run.
And that's where
But it's a
Isaiah
matter-
Livers.
but it's a
Isaiah
matter of-
Livers was the best defender in that, orchestrating that.
Yeah, it's a matter of actually stepping up and stopping that transition.
That's hard.
It is. Well, when you got these athletes running, you got Cohen Carr, you can put the thing up by the corner.
Cohen
with the
Carr
backboard
is
and
a
go get it,
stud,
like-
man.
So who's the leading scorer for Michigan State tonight?
Leading scorer is, it's going to be Jaden Akins.
Right there.
No.
that whole
Cohen
period
Carr.
was.
No way.
Cohen Carr.
Yes, yeah. I have just have a
Almost
good
drinking
feeling.
the Cohen Carr juice.
Yeah.
He's Brett Petway with some skills, along with it.
He's
you
only
know.
6'6". Brett Petway was 6'9".
Yeah.
And
I
could jump out
think
of the
Kohler's
gym.
going to have a big game tonight.
Man, you guys are on one.
I think
Cohen
Kohler.
Carr.
They don't have Kohler.
Kohler, the big
Oh,
pivot
Kohler.
man. Yeah,
Mr.
he's right.
Kohler.
Because
Yeah.
UCLA don't have who they got down the pivot.
I don't know.
I can't argue
Yeah.
with you because that boy is knocking down 3-pointers now. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like if you give him an open shot, he's actually knocking it down, and that makes him a problem.
I'm saying this more because I don't see UCLA having a big post presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
right.
okay, we'll see. Well, I tell you, this Big Ten basketball is fun to watch. It
I'm
gets
trying
us
to
through.
think of who we missing, man.
What? You talking about in the race?
In the Big Ten, we got Maryland out there.
Who? I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, we've covered everybody. Who's going to be a
How about
threat?
Oregon?
Maybe.
Or-
And we didn't even mention UCLA
I mean-
because right now, if you go to Lamarty, I think he's got UCLA as a lower seed than Michigan.
Right.
No.
I
So,
still
so
think-
as of right now, the Big Ten conference rankings are Michigan State's 1, Purdue's 2, Michigan's 3, Maryland's 4, UCLA's 5. But UCLA, Maryland, and Wisconsin are all 7. and 4.
USC could have impact on this thing before.
USC's 5 and 5 right now.
Who
so
makes
they're
the tournament?
they're kind of
The
the
top
outside.
what?
Top 9.
The
No,
bottom
no,
four,
Big Ten tournament?
the bottom
Top
four
15?
are deleted. So
Yeah.
you got
The bottom
Or 14,
four.
top 14.
Yeah, top 14.
teams. So, Washington, Minnesota, Northwestern, and Penn State are
Yeah.
probably out. Maybe
Barnheiser
Minnesota.
out. That was really sad. Northwestern's got no chance.
Yeah, without
And
him,
he's a
they're
good guy.
cooked.
What do you guys think of Ace?
Good.
Oh man, he's
Against Michigan, he didn't look.
yeah.
He
he-
didn't look-
well,
Just
because
thank-
all
thank-
the emphasis was on
Well,
him.
thank God
Like,
Dylan Harper wasn't playing.
Yeah.
That could have been.
That's what we were talking about actually.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Dylan,
But-
it actually says a lot about Dylan Harper because when he was out, Ace Baldwin.
I mean, and he had a high, and he didn't play much against
Michigan.
Michigan State either.
Yeah,
at
he had a
MSG.
couple nice dunks.
Yeah.
Good player. Hey guys, terrific job, and we'll see you next week. Big game tonight. Dot Man's got to go back and do his grown-up stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a job. Until next time.
Peace.
Down to the blocks.